Looks like we are live. And at least the audio's coming through. We know that. Bosch Kyle has has lost some of his tech privileges after 2 weeks ago. We lost all the audio for the second half of a game. But
Nice.
how's everybody doing tonight?
I feel like I got a brick in my face.
Ick.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that's how our child feels.
Ours, but here it's our child.
I am dealing with the government and regulations on how to measure growth for teachers, so I'm mentally tired.
I was doing all right till we got that bill. Chaos must have had a good day at school, so there's that.
Yep.
Mine's out of school right now.
Fall break.
Really?
Yep.
This was last week.
Yeah, we had ours last week.
Yeah, ours is today, tomorrow, and then parent teacher is Wednesday. So they're out for Wednesday as well.
They've got report card night Thursday, and then they're out Friday.
Anyway, we're doing a bonus roundtable tonight instead of a Holy Winds episode, mostly because, well, Moose has a migraine, and Claire, yet again, is on call because it seems like nobody else at her company can ever be put on call.
Yeah.
Isn't Fury and Locke, isn't that LeBlanc?
Yes.
What you doing listening, not doing being on here?
Click the button. Click the button.
Anyway, what we're doing tonight is we're going to do a little round table. Probably not going to last a full hour, but it's I had a thought after I saw that neither one of them were going to make it, and I wanted to stream, and I didn't want us to actually go into the fight, especially with like Claire's character being a barbarian, and like the thing that her character is designed to do is fight the damn near everything.
Hey, we got a LeBlanc.
Hey, we picked up a LeBlanc.
Whose mic is muted.
But so I decided that maybe this would be a better use of our time instead of just not streaming, because I do want us to try to keep our whatever the algorithm and bull crap is here on streaming. So thought ask a couple questions that are connected to difficult decisions while role playing. Any tabletop games, any LARPs, anything that any of us have been in, heck, even board games if you want to throw it in there, except for Monopoly, the killer of families and good times. So I was going to open it up with what I think is a question that everybody could really answer is, what's the most difficult thing for you when building a character? Like building a brand new character from scratch, most difficult thing for you to actually decide to do.
To not make them Avi.
Figuring out what race and class to play.
I think race is usually something I think about a lot, but honestly, probably names.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I will play pretty much anything. Like I say, trying to not pick Avi, but I mean Avi's kind of my go-to ace. I gotta have his voice down. I have his attitude down. Kind of the things that he does, how he thinks, and everything else. So Avi's easy. Bangalore is easy. He's very blunt to the point and relatively simple-minded, but he's a technical genius. and he shoots things. That is Bangalore.
I mean, I try to play something different, some kind of different combination almost every time we start something. Like I've reused characters before. I've used Tum Tums a couple times. I've used my Bugbear Mal a couple times, but I don't know. Like when I made Arvax, I agonized over what to name her because I wanted her name to mean something. So I went through so many Orcish words. So many. She almost had like 4 other different names until I finally settled on Arvax. Even if it's a one-shot character, I'm like, what do I name them?
Yeah, because I don't think you don't want to end up with like Steve. You know, it's kind of anticlimactic if you got like just Dave.
I feel
You know?
like their name is going to play into their personality for me. And if I don't know what the personality is going to be yet, I have a really hard time finding a name.
Mm-hmm. Uh, the other thing is finding for me. It's finding their attitude, not finding their voice. Not so much speaking voice. 'Cause I can mess around with that and stuff like that, and find and that'll fall in. But their general attitude and outlook and how they perceive the world, like
Yeah.
and not falling into Tarek and Avi, because Bangalore is kind of in that same line of it. Bangalore is just real. Bangalore is practical. It's 1+1 = 2. This much potash and this much charcoal equals boom. Abby's just sarcastic, and Tarek was just straight to the point. Like, all right, look, you're gonna okay. So here's what happened. I understand that you are an ancient dragon, and that one of the biggest things that you probably have is the whole being an undead dragon thing kind of pissed you off. I understand that, but look, we're trying to accomplish something, and that was the shortest distance between 2 points. And with Mularn, I'm trying to be a bit more snarky. And it's just finding their voice is kind of in their mindset is difficult. But once I have it, we're gone. I mean, once I have it, you get Avi, where I know how Avi's going to handle the situation. He's going to say something stupid and he's going to say something stupid and try to do something awesome.
Or say something stupid then do something stupid.
But the story is going to be amazing.
All right, what about the rest of you?
I was going to say, I think Cannon was going to say something.
I was going to say finding the name's pretty easy because I usually try to decide what the personality and attitude is going to be before the name, so the name just kind of follows along easily.
It's easy. It's easier if I have it in mind, but it's just I don't always have it in mind though.
Like with Tarl, the son of Hiram, he was named after Isengard and Tarek, so I kind of took it that those two had a major influence on his upbringing, and I kind of to the point and try anything once.
alignment used to be difficult for me until I settled on how I view alignment now.
We're
Which
also a little loose with alignment in our games.
and that's and that kind of plays into that. Like it for for the 24-hour game when I'll be running the wheel. I have it in there. Just really as concise as I could make it, because let's face it, I had to write a book. It's difficult to explain my world. But essentially what it comes down to for me, and especially in my games and the way that I look at it, alignment is not something that you're so much beholden to as it used to be. Alignment dictates options. Like in the write-up that I did, it lawful good. I am going to bring you in to face justice. Lawful evil. I'm going to bring you in to face justice, and if your boys jump in the way, they're not leaving. Chaotic evil. Instead of bringing you in for justice, I'm just going to bar the doors and windows to this fully staffed and no vacancy inn and set it on fire, because that solves the problem of him, his people, because I don't know who in there is working for him, with him. Acceptable casualties. So, which for me brings up a the scenario of, we need to get information out of this guy. He is not going to talk to me. I am lawful good. I am wholly beholden to not to I'm completely against torture for information. But Arvax isn't.
No.
There's nothing that said the group needs the information. I don't need to be in the room.
I just know that things have probably gone a little south or gone a little crazy when Hewitt has to ask, "What's y'all's alignment?"
To be fair, that's only when you all go off the deep end, like with something like, hold up, I thought everybody was mostly good here. We're torturing somebody now?
But I mean,
As a character who has a god of war, there are no rules in war except to win.
that, and you have to remember, dude, Batman's lawful evil. Batman's lawful good. I don't have to. I don't have. I'm not going to kill you. I just don't have to save you.
Hewitt never said what his was.
I was waiting for everybody else to go through.
I didn't know if LeBlanc was going to say anything or if he was just hanging out.
Is the LeBlanc just hanging out?
I think he's hanging out.
So I don't know how good this mic works.
Poorly.
I mean, I figured. For me, I would say like a character backstory, because I'm not the best storyteller. I mean, with Zane and Levi, I just kind of created the characters and then let things happen, and that kind of created the backstory.
That can be fun, though. And usually, especially if Hewitt's the one DMing, if you don't come up with a backstory, which is why I really came up with a backstory for Arvax, he is damn sure going to make up something for your backstory.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, finding out who, and that's another fun thing about the game in general, about role playing in general, is sometimes learning about who the hell this person is along the way.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like that. I want a base backstory about who he is, who his parents are. But as the other characters have no clue who he is along the way, just like when you meet a stranger in the real world. So I make shit up as I go, and that ends up being the backstory.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when I came with Beltari, I was just kind of coming in to fill a gap. I knew I was coming in to join the party, but all I knew is that she was a wizard, worked at this, was a student at the school, and was social anxiety tiefling. That's all I had when I started with her.
And the party made that last bit so much worse.
Oh, so much. Like her being adopted by the golem and the gnome, that came way later because I was trying to make something that was interesting, but not like. Because I remember you made the joke, Knox, about, oh, here's the tragic backstory. It's like, it's not tragic. I just got adopted. That's it.
Her reaction to me destroying the school was epic.
That I will say what Tarl, or not Tarl, but Hiram is 90% of the reason y'all got kicked out of got kicked out of Utar for about a century.
2 centuries.
But to be fair, you earthquaked a tower, which then made me do a whole lot of calculations on structure. And I was like, well, shit. He broke the tower.
Oh, boy. All right, what's the next one?
Well, I'll throw mine out. The hardest part for me when developing a character is putting the stats to the feel I want for them, because it's so easy to min-max. Be like, oh yes, I will destroy things with this. I'll be this terrible little wizard or this terrible little fighter. But to me, sometimes that's not fun unless you want to make like just, McMurder Hobo. But making sure there's a flaw there that can make the character grow. I have something there that makes them interesting. Like when I played Jethrid for Nate's game, he had high constitution but low dex, so I basically said he was portly. Like he was a chubby water genasi sorcerer that had problems keeping up with everybody because he was a cook and a student that didn't exercise. With Aldrich has pretty decent stats, but he has a low wisdom, so he either believes people or immediately doesn't trust for an extensive period, regardless of what common sense would tell you, which means the Aldrich that is in Lost Seas with y'all is extremely loyal to people who pretty much treat him like garbage.
Yeah, we're not very nice, Aldrich.
To be fair, Abby thinks it's hilarious. Like he is the Aldrich is the mascot of the Devil's Pride as far as he's concerned. As far the fleet that he is the mascot. He is the entertainment.
And then with like Turt Reynolds, he became party dad. Like I made a joke character of a death cleric turtle.
I'm pretty sure that partly happened because you got to go to more sessions of that than me, so I didn't have a chance to become party mom like I always do.
But every character I have, I want their stats to kind of tell the story for me of how they're going to act. And not wanting to just necessarily make a powerhouse. Like, I while we were doing this, I'm currently building a character also for Kyle's game and trying to figure out exactly what type of cleric he's going to be, because that seems like the most fun to play in that mercenary campaign. Especially since where the magic comes from with divinity is faith from a character that doesn't know exactly what's going on with themselves. So that's one reason I thought about this for questions for everybody, is just some of the more difficult questions are about making a character and what to do. Like a name, like, okay, Turt Reynolds I had from the get-go because he's a turtle and I just wanted to make a Burt Reynolds joke. High Noon, my Tabaxi I named because Tabaxis get a name for what they do, and he is a paladin that's main spell was Compel Duel, and he got high around noon and took a nap every day. And then there's Hogpaw from Spence's game that is nothing but Latimer Hogwaller as a arcane tabaxi cleric, so he can have the zoomies and then heal people and magic missile at the same time. So I mean, naming's never been hard for me. I say that as I stare at a blank name space on this character sheet. The next question I have is, while you're playing, how hard is it not, or how hard is it for you to stay in character through a whole session? Now, as a forever DM, for the most part, I rarely get to be a player, so I can't really answer this one or chime in, but how hard is it to stay in character? Or how hard of a decision is it to stay in character and not meta for you?
It depends. Like, it depends on the character and the game. Because we were playing the game at the shop, and I was playing Kaylin. She's my Fire Ganassi monk. And when I'm playing Arvax, I am trying, and I made them both chaotic good. Because I always end up playing party mom, even when I don't intend to. And I'm always the one trying to make sure the party doesn't hurt themselves or die. And I don't play a character usually that jumps into things. So with Kaylin, I tried to change that. And with Arvex, I'm sometimes fighting that urge and making myself do things that normally I'd be like, no, that's stupid, don't do it. But Arvex is like, nope, gotta do the thing. Gonna go over here and smash it. Oh crap, it's much bigger than me. Like with the big zombie monster thing, that didn't end well. Almost. And sometimes it's easy. Like Nazra's easy to stay in character. Sometimes it's pretty easy to stay in character. Arlon is really easy to stay in character.
Yeah, once I find that character and get in a stride, it's easy for me to. Yeah, it's relatively easy for me to kind of stay in character. Like, Avi, it's natural for me to slip into him because I'm so used to him now. Bangalore is kind of similar, just very very analytical, and yeah, this is fancy. I don't know what it's made of. This is fancy. Like Vindo, my hobgoblin samurai, is quite literally just, there is problem. I cut problem with sword. Done. Mularn is a little bit of snark and a whole lot of paranoia. And taking every opportunity to take the piss out of my brother. But I'm the only person that gets to take the piss out of my brother. Once I find that voice, it's pretty easy for me to stay in character. As far as metagaming goes, I find that I don't metagame as in, oh well, I'm going to use this piece of information that I heard out of character. But what I do is I will there are times where I will find something out of character. I will find out information out of character, and I will run it through the grinder in my head of, is there any way that I would have figured that I would have thought about that, figured it out, known it, or heard it?
Yeah.
If the answer to all of those questions is no, oh well. If the answer to one of those questions is what I was maybe, and it needs a roll. If the roll is good, then it happens. If it's not, then I don't know. That has kind of come back. And I know Moose is the exact same way. If he don't know it, if his character don't know it, his character don't know it. If he can't figure out a way for his character to know it, his character doesn't know it. And
I
I
think
mean,
it's hard when you've played a game for a while. Like I certainly don't call myself an expert in D&D, but if when you've played for a while and you've just kind of gathered tidbits and know about monsters or know about lore, and you sometimes I do it without meaning to. I've done it playing our Dresden game. I know I've done it playing D&D, where you just kind of like, oh shit, it's this thing, but I might not actually know what this thing is.
last week with the fairy hag mother, can I have your name? Nope.
Yeah, I immediately I went Dresden Files, so that was like hell no. But I also was kind of going with Arvex lives out in the woods her entire life in the damp wood, and I feel like there's stuff like the fairy hag mother out there. Like I think I had her mention, there were some hags in the woods. Some were okay, some of them are not. But but if it had been some other character, I probably would have been like, no, she might fall for that shit. I feel
And
like the orcs would be like super cautious about Faye though.
and it's like Mulan is Shadarkai, so he would and a wizard. He would have meticulously researched why he was different and why he could do the things that he could do, and would have gone through and he would have a more of a knowledge than most on elves, their past, and a bit of the Feywild. And if you're dealing with the Feywild, you're dealing with Archfey and how literal they are. Like,
I'm not too much into. I'm not too much into creating individual voices for my characters. I tend to use my normal voice. What I have to watch out for is their background, their lawful good. Would they do this or would they not do this? And sometimes, especially since I play a cleric for tier a lot of games, is like I said earlier. My God is the God of war, and in war, anything you do to win is legit. So sometimes what my character does is not so much the lawful good part of it, and I have to play a fine line there on going past that lawful good and the lawful evil.
Walk that line between your alignment and what your God would accept as acceptable.
Yeah, well, my God wouldn't accept me going in and just clearing out a whole village because there was one person in there I needed to find and kill. However, he would not be opposed to me burning the village down as long as I made sure all the innocents were out.
Good.
Who else?
What's that?
Who else?
And like I said, I can't really chime in on this because rarely do I get to play a character, and the longest player character I've had is either Aldric or Turt, and both of them are low intelligence, and I just played them as low intelligence. Then I found out Aldric wasn't that low compared to everybody else in the party. He actually had the second highest with a 12.
Well, I mean, to be and Isengard was also kind of a long term character for you as well, and I think you ended up finding finding that voice and staying concise to it, as far as keeping him consistent throughout the whole thing. It started as an NPC to help us in the beginning that was supposed to be temporary, that we would not let leave. So
y'all adopted him and did not let me take him out of the game.
So that translated into Isengard from being essentially the screw up of the family to the quintessential, I'm not even supposed to be here today. I would literally rather be doing anything else. But since I'm here, I'm going to smack this guy in the face 6 times with an axe.
To be fair, with Isengard, playing him as a long-term NPC that y'all just never got rid of and wouldn't die, especially once he got to a high enough level, because that's the problem with fighters. Once you get to a high enough level, it's like, oh shit, you're almost impossible to kill. But with him, it was always just supposed to be, yeah, I'm not even supposed to be here today, sardonic, dry, might as well drink dwarf, was more or less him the entire time. Which was good, because then he really didn't chime in too much when y'all were making actual decisions.
Mm.
It's the reason why when I have larger parties, I really don't want an NPC like that tagging along. Or like Dreyfus is being kind of quiet because he's a fish out of water, because literally like a month ago he was accusing some of y'all of being heretics. Even though you are. There's just no proof. He was accusing you of being heretics, and here you are helping him. So he's kind of eating crow right now and just clamming up.
I mean, to be fair, at least from Lauren's perspective, I don't like him anyway. Mulan has nothing for him. Mulan's not going to have any interaction with him because he doesn't want to.
Okay.
Yeah, he is a little bit of a snobbish dick.
It's more that he is a overzealous trying to get some type of approval because of how people are treating him. So he's the guy that goes way too far. That's more or less supposed to be him. He is basically RoboCop with some type of approval issue. Like, he knows the church hates him, but he's part of the church, so he's just going to keep trying until, like, they give him that pat on the head and tell him he's a good boy.
And see, that is not computing in Arvax's brain. At all. Like, she wasn't trying to be racist talking about it. She was genuinely, like, confused, like, you're kind of what they normally seem to hate, so why do you have this position? What the hell? Why are you still here? It came from a place of kind of ignorance, but also curiosity on her part.
See, next question I have... Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, it seems to me like he doesn't have anywhere else to go because nobody wants him.
It's a bit of that as well. It is definitely a little bit of that as well. But next question is, and this goes for some of the folks that have played clerics, and I can definitely chime in on this. How hard is it to actually heal a party member versus try to not have to heal because you're preventing the damage in the first place by trying to kill it. Preventative healthcare.
Well, while playing a cleric, that highly depended upon what was going on at the moment. If I had a plan, then that's going to be that's going to be where that tough decision comes in. It is honestly also the reason why I honestly only kind of tangentially pay attention during combat, because the best laid plans always end up, okay, I'm going to do this. Okay, so this is happening, this is happening, this is happening. Crap, this can't happen now. Because literally everything that happened in the turn, in everything between my last turn and now, just completely shut all of that out of the window. So I kind of keep track of everything, and when it gets maybe a turn or two before me, that's when I start looking at my stuff and going, okay, what's available to me. If I start planning out before too early before that, then everything's going to go to pot, and I'm going to magic missile. I don't. But when it came to Taric, who I think is the only healer that any only character that I've played that has healing, that is a huge conundrum for him, because he was a spell slinger, and having to choose between healing someone and, I don't know, friggin' earthquaking or firestorming is gonna be a big thing, especially if it's a little bit later in the battle. So, and also it actually kind of depends on who's down. If
you play favorites,
and how they got to be down.
No, actually, no, not how they got to be down. If Arvax goes down, if Taric is in this party, if Arvax goes down, I have to get Arvax back up, because Arvax makes problems go away. If Mulark goes down, or if Dude goes down, Tarik's casting Firestorm. And if I can get to him, if I have enough movement afterwards, I will bonus action 5 points lay on hands out of my 15 points of pool. Especially when it comes to Taric. Taric is going to do a hard cost benefit analysis, primarily focusing on damage output. Mularn, you give him a healing spell, his brother goes down, he's gonna pick his brother back up. If Dude goes down, he's gonna bring Dude back, because he sees Dude as an advantage, and also Dude annoys his brother, so that's a twofer.
I'm trying to think for
Hiram. Hiram would. He was a fighter to the core. he would wait until the end of the battle to do any healing unless he saw somebody that was really helping out needed to get back up because they were at zero. Uh, like you were saying earlier, he planned out his strategy, and he started with distance. And as he moved in, he went to his hammer, and he used very little magic once he got in close enough. Tarl is kind of the same. He's gonna play more of the long distance stuff up front, and he's gonna kind of keep an eye on what's going on. But if somebody makes bad strategic decisions and it causes them to go to 0 hit points, he's gonna withhold until until the end of the battle for them, because there's other people that's doing more and doing more strategically that he's gonna take care of.
With the two clerics that I've regularly played, Hogpaw will heal. He will be annoyed that he has to heal. More than likely, he will use a healing word before he does a cure wounds, simply because it's enough to pop you back up. And then he can also throw out a cantrip to nail somebody in the face so that maybe he can get them off of you long enough for you to have a turn. Turt, on the other hand, was very much prevent damage in the first place by becoming a blender. Using spiritual guardians and then healing as would need be, but mostly twinning necromancy cantrips at things and just becoming this god-awful visage of a, death paint, bone necklace wearing snapping turtle wielding a warhammer like a walking stick.
I can't think of. I don't think I've ever played a full cleric, but the sorcerer that I have in our home game, Nasra, she's the kind of sorcerer that can also take cleric spells. But we also have a cleric, so it kind of depends on what spell slots look like for everybody. Like I've healed and I have distance spells, so that's definitely helped save tanks before. But I tend to worry more about damaging things trying to kill us and saving people from dying after they stop trying to kill us. But I have a cleric idea that I want to play at some point in something, and I don't know how much of a healing cleric they're going to be. I like to be able to hit things.
One of the things I found about clerics, at a low level, healing is about the best spells they have. They have to start getting 3rd level and higher spells before they start affecting battles very much.
Depends a little bit on the subclass with that. Like this, not gonna lie, this cleric I'm building right now seems like they might be able to do either or when it comes to actually dealing damage or being I will be the healer. Thinking also clerics can get, especially like grave clerics and a few other ones, you get blight. And blight is one of my favorite spells.
That's another hard decision for me as well, especially now, because playing a cleric, it's not hard. It's all situational. For a wizard, picking your spells. Picking your spells and trying to figure out what kind of person, what kind of wizard they're going to be. Like what I'm gonna specialize it. Like it just kind of fell into a deal with with the twins, where Mulark, because he's Dragonborn Sorcerer Copper Dragon, he went full acid. Any acid spell that he could pick, he's gonna pick it. And Mularn just happened to fall kind of into the same thing with it fit with ice for him because he's a transmutation wizard, and at its core functionality, it's changing states of matter is very simple transmutation in his mind. So ice just fit. So, but trying to looking at that spell list and going, what am I going to take next? One of the bigger decisions that I have. Like when I was playing my cleric, it wasn't nearly as bad because you have access to everything. If what you have doesn't work, next day you change it, and not really possible when dealing with arcane.
Okay, and then the last question I got here is it hard to let a character go either when they die or let me rephrase it. How difficult is it for you to let a character go either when a campaign has come to an end or when it was the dice just decided that their adventure was over?
I try everything possible to not let a character die. I for real thought Arvex was gonna die so early in the campaign, and I was legit gonna cry if she did. Because I worked so hard on her.
It's for me. It depends on the character. Like just kind of going through my characters. Avi, I love Avi. Avi is my spirit animal. Avi started as an NPC. Avi is an NPC, and I can pull out Avi as a character, as literally after Extra Life, I will literally be able to pull Avi out at three or four different types of rogue. So Avi's always, and that's another thing with the wheel, which is essentially what I'm going to, that everything that I do in D&D is going to be set in this world now. These characters are going to be in this world. So for me, they're also always a good possibility they'll always be around in some way, shape, or form. The difference, honestly, comes with, for Avi in Lost Seas, comes with not Avi dying, but literally anybody else. If anybody on that crew dies in front of Avi, Avi's gonna lose his shit. So that's interesting as well. That's just naturally come up throughout the course of his evolution in that game. Moose and I have spoken about the possibility of one or the other twin dying. That's going to be bad. Because I've already said if my brother goes down, then y'all run. I got this. and I will then have a side conversation with Hewitt about some ideas that I have, and then we'll see what happens from there.
After I invest the time in the character, I don't want to see him die. None of the characters I've played I've ever wanted to see die. So in the back of my mind, I watch my hit points, and if I ever get to the point where I think I'm going to go down and not get back up, I'm going to do my best to unass the area.
Yeah, that's Abby's thought process on it too. I actually was leave and then make sure that you're the last person that can.
I get attached. I get attached to my characters, and the only one like what happened with our game at the shop with my character Mal was pretty awesome. So I wasn't so upset about that, but I was sad I couldn't play him anymore. But I just don't like. I don't want anyone to lose their character. I know some people don't get as attached as me, like Devin. Asshole. He tries to get himself killed every game we play. But I don't know. I think it's just I'm a
And ultimately, you get into a situation of so the orc targets you with his first attack. That's a natural 20 for max damage. Second attack, oh, he's gonna hit you again. Bonus attack, oh, dude, he hit you again. Well, oh, so much for that. So much for Boromir. Time to meet his brother Boromir. Kind of situation. And it's ultimately it's I've being a DM and playing in as a member of Team Bonus Action. And then considering the fact that my in-person group has an autistic 18-year-old Ricky who doesn't pay attention to shit. Who wants to play, he just doesn't pay attention to shit. So it's like a brand new player every time. And then Mish and our friend Krista, who get it, and Mish is getting to the point now where I can hand her the books and go, "What do you want to play?" Because she's finally getting enough of her feet under her to go. Okay, she can look through the classes and the races and go, "I want to be this." And then I sit down with her and go, okay, when it comes to a druid, these are your options for subclass. This is everything that they can do. And then she'll pick from there, and then we'll build her character. At that point, we'll build her character together. I've got enough character building under my belt at this point in 5th edition that I can literally knock one out in like 15 minutes. And that's pretty much, and that's buying equipment and everything. It's typically buying equipment and everything. The only hang up is if I decide if it's a spellcaster to picking spells. And ultimately, if I die and I have to roll a new character, well, that character then goes into the character folder with all of my other characters that I have. I mean, I've still got my Jakku Blue character sheet from the Bard game from last year.
I still have Elmwood.
So he's sitting there and ready to be pulled out in some way, shape, or form, or altered for my needs if I need a blue dragonborn bard or fighter. So ultimately, it's while I don't. A lot of time what it boils down to is I wouldn't have a problem if my character died. That's just the way that it rolled. I just got luck. Just been lucky, and I enjoy playing the characters that I've been playing, and I don't want to stop playing them.
Let's see, for me, it really depends on the character. Like, when I played Jethrid, he would have vamoosed. Like, again, it would have been an in-character thing. He would have, like, if thing looked like it was going too far south, he would have GTFO'd. Aldrich played in Chris's game. It was already listed, and in the final fight, it came down to it. Aldrich had his favorite companion in the party was Neve, our paladin, and we were fighting the incarnation of Nurgle, and she went down in the miasma. And so Aldrich, this halfling with a warglaive that didn't understand he had picked up some levels in cleric yet, unleashed. He had just gotten to where he had 3 attacks, and then unleashed a action surge, doing 6 attacks, critting on 2 of them, dumping smites, literally taking damage every time he got a hit, or hit this thing because it bled like acid or some type of like corruption, just so he could knock it further away from Neve so she wouldn't die. Ended up killing it, and then started dragging her body back towards the portal while everyone else is like running to get out of there, like leave her. Aldrich, the like 40-pound stout halfling, is dragging a 6-foot-tall, heavily armored paladin by himself, using his sentinel feet to stop anything from getting close to either of them. Aldrich, I was ready to let die because he would have not left Neve. Like, he might have left some of the other party members, like Daira, but he would not have left Neve. Some other characters, they would die. Like, Turt would die trying to kill the Xanathar, because the Xanathar is responsible for what happened to Mal, like one of his only friends. And Turt, being a death cleric, doesn't fear death. But at the same time, for me, if it's time for a character to go, I'll let the character go, because that's what's organic. That needs to happen with them. Plus, as a DM, y'all kill my characters like all the damn time, so I'm a little numb to some of it. Like, here's this NPC I worked really hard on, and they killed him. They said, screw that guy, the not lovable, just kill them. But we're in love with the giant gelatinous cube.
Hey,
We love Glorples.
Glorfles is awesome. Shit, at this point, Glorples has been effectively more helpful than Smebulon.
Yeah, Smebulok's just an old gnome trying to get you jobs.
And I appreciate that, but Glorples has saved our lives.
But yeah, for me, if it's organic and it's time for them to go, then I'm fine with the character going if it makes sense and it follows with them. But like, just getting exploded by a fireball would kind of suck. Like, just walking around a corner and eating that and dying.
It's like the fight in the village square was about a month ago, when Peregrine and my brother were off doing their own thing. I was in a zone, man. Like, I'm all right. I'm back this far. I'm sniping things. I'm spell sniping things. And then that thing can move 40 foot a turn, and I can only move 35. And I got it. I ended up between a rock and a hard place, and he just my plan of attack was work. My plan was working a little too well, because it took notice of me, and I'm squishy. Like, it came down to every single. Like, I never popped shield in that fight. because every time he hit, it was shield's not going to do it. I'm going to save the spell slot. Shield's not going to be enough. I'm going to save the spell slot. Shield's not going to be enough.
Well, with that, folks, we have made it to about an hour, and I think this is a good place to end it. I will turn it over to Frey to do our socials and upcomings, and then to Knox for our final sign off.
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
3 weeks to Extra Life.
I got to paint so much terrain.
I guess I gotta make characters, I guess.
I gotta make tokens and DM map.
Hey, Knox, you should join the Monster of the Week game Spencer's running Sunday with Avi as the Crooked.
When is what the issue with the Sunday game is it depends on what time he's running it.
9 a.m.
He may be able to do that. I'll have to see. I don't know when we're leaving.
Because right now, I know that Sunday is 9 a.m. his game, and then at noon, it's the high noon game, the big showdown.
Okay.
And then Devin's running a game after that. I can't commit to Sunday right now because I might have to go get Vincent. So
I'm back.
And we'll and right now it's still kind of up in the air on whether or not Misha's gonna be able to come or not. I'm pushing for it because I think it'd be fun. I think she'd enjoy herself.
Yes, we need to have Mish there. So it could be Mish and me and Claire and Michaela.
And Christina.
And Christina.
Maybe.
All in one place.
and have a bottle of Bloody Mary mix for y'all.
I don't think I could drink Bloody Marys again. Not after last time. Y'all don't stand a chance. And we're gonna have a LeBlanc too.
Yeah. Your mama's got Rick on the floor.
All right. Well, we're
Just don't let him find the corner of a 10 anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I resemble that.
Yes, you do.
So does the corner of our tent.
And your
two different tents.
and your tent in California.
That wasn't my tent either.
You're not allowed to do it on my new floors.
I also never got that tent back. I have 2 new tents now, and I have not in those tents either. So all good.
You haven't christened them?
No.
But I didn't even eat chicken.
'Cause I didn't.
Oh my lord.
And the bad thing about it, the tent in California, we hadn't even opened the show yet.
Yeah, that was first night.
Lord, Chris. Oh, the things I miss. All right. Well, we're glad anyone joined us tonight. If not, you're maybe listening to this on our YouTube page, Team Bonus Action. We're on Facebook at Team Bonus Action. We are on Twitter at bonus_team. Oh, real quick, I wanted to bring this up. It wasn't really pertinent to what we were talking about, though, but there is a place that is being built. I shared it on the Discord. It's called the Griffin and Gargoyle Experience. They are building it in Wisconsin. Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. It's in the general chat on our thing, and I actually have a Discord that I joined that is basically going to be an immersive restaurant D&D fantasy experience, and it looks really fucking cool. Like, it is a D&D themed little resort thing, and I'm like, we all need to take a road trip to Wisconsin in 2024 when it opens. But so yeah, shout out to them because this stuff is cool. But I think are we doing anything Thursday this week? Are you
No,
running Anathema this week?
no, it's 'cause you didn't come through there, Em.
Oh, it's Critical Role premiere night. Thursday is Critical Role premiere night, so are we not going to do anything?
No, it's because we're going to start running games earlier on Thursday so that folks that want to make the Critical Role can watch it. I still gotta I'm tempted not to finish campaign 2 and just pick up campaign 3.
I mean, we're gonna start it. I want to watch the premiere. So are we not doing anything Thursday?
No, we're not.
Okay, so nothing Thursday. Next Monday we should be back with Holy Winds. Hewitt and I only have chance might do some more live streams of working on stuff for Extra Life. Had a couple good streams doing that stuff. That was fun. But with Extra Life, we have our team up. We have our page up for our. I keep wanting to say Kickstarter. It's not the right friggin' word. Fundraiser. TARP. Let's see. Looking at Extra Life, we've got how many games we're playing? Let's see. We've got Friday. We're going to have Fair No Neutral Trust, which is a Honey Heist game, and that will kick us off around 7ish. And then Critter Showdown will be around 10ish. It kind of depends on when Bear None ends and when I get off of work.
It also might be Bear None starts a little bit later depending on when people make it here.
Right.
I know that I'm not taking that Friday off like I usually do since
but
we're going to start
a football game.
Yeah, it's an away game that week anyway. So, yeah, we might start later depending on when folks are going to get here on Friday. Okay. Also, some of the local crew has not been signing up for games, so they need to.
I just don't know what I can sign up for. That's my problem. I don't know. I get my schedule week to week. So Saturday we're gonna have Violet Ribbon around 9. Hope the Wheel Rox's game around 2ish. This is all, of course, ish depending on how long stuff lasts. 9:25 to Harmony Ridge at 6ish. Rascal Trails at 10ish. Sunday we will start off with Horror of Armistice Hill at 9ish. We've got our high noon game, which I really want to be able to play in because it's going to be a battle royale game of level 20s. I don't know if I can. And then Devin's game will be at 3ish on Sunday to close us out. And we'll just be being a bunch of goobers, not dying of sleep deprivation with a whole shitload of food.
There may be somewhere in there may be a stream of a round table that just happens. I know Kyle and I will be doing a Latimer and Willie video, which means I gotta go find my Latimer shit now that I've moved. So that'll happen at some point. But also, I think we're gonna do a bonfire one night just so we can all relax after we finish up the game.
Yeah, but that won't be live stream. But anyway, so check us out on socials. That's where we may have all our updates, all of our future game schedules and everything like that. So I think that's all, and I will turn it over to Knox.
Well, we appreciate y'all coming and hanging out with us, and we look forward to y'all joining us the next couple of weeks over our normal stuff, and in 3 weeks for our big event. Donate if you can. I think we've all got links out there somewhere. So until next time, folks, don't let your meatloaf.